one part of the game, Brian, and I agree with my good friend Teemu Selanne. To call that penalty with 35 seconds left, I thought was a bit of a joke. Like,
the
honestly,
high stick on MacKinnon?
Technically, it was a high stick, but it rode up and it glazed his nose, and he sold it, and it was like, if you watch it, maybe we should put up another one of our drawings of the game that we're allowed to put up for the show, because we're not allowed to play video.
A still. You could do the still of MacKinnon kind of.
He sells it. He goes
back.
DiCaprio on it. And that's an art form now in the game. It is an art form.
Dude, I
in the
get
game.
it, but if you're the ref with like 28 seconds left, 35 seconds left,
it
you're
was
going to call that.
2:35. It was 2.5 left. Because they played out the full power play to score
Sorry,
a goal.
2:35 left, and you call that penalty, you're basically ending the hockey game. Yes, something could happen, but for the most part, you're ending the hockey game. I agree with Teemu. I would have preferred to see them fight it out for a couple of minutes and have some chances and do it the right way. If that was the other way around, this country would be in flames right now because they'd be so pissed off.
Let me read it. So Teemu Selanne, who I believe is going to join us later this afternoon.
Oh, nice.
Yes, the grappler is grappling. 10 years in, he's going to grapple Teemu Selanne. And Alex, for that matter, because Doogie is off today.
How about Doogie taking a
Doogie's
Friday?
just relaxing somewhere. Yeah, Doogie, day after the Super Bowl, day after, semifinal of the Olympics, Doogie's got his feet up somewhere. But Teemu Selanne tweeted out after the game, beating the greatest country in the world, greatest hockey country in the world, and Canadian refs same night is impossible, I guess. Absolutely embarrassing penalty with 90 seconds left. What a joke. The part where he says Canadian refs is what sticks out to me because they were both Canadian, which I was surprised by. Like, I have to be honest.
Man. That's shocking.
I was surprised when I saw before the game 2 Canadian refs. Like, I'm surprised Finland didn't say pardon. Like, actually, I don't think so.
I wouldn't have allowed it, man. I would not have allowed it.
I mean, they have integrity. He didn't want to call it. You could tell it was delayed.
He hesitated. He actually hesitated.
Yes.
He actually hesitated, but again, letter of the law, I understand it, but you're right. We always brag about refs having a feel. And listen, it was a high stick, but if you I don't know, tell me if you feel this way. If you're questioning it, would you have not taken them both and go high stick, but you embellished it too? Like I had somebody
know. But
say
Jamie,
that
if
to
you
me.
watch it live, however you want to find it, it's a fan reaction call because all the fans go, oh, and MacKinnon goes like this, and then the ref goes.
Yeah,
you watch the delayed reaction. He's watching it, and he does not put his hand up. I don't think he had the best view of it. And as soon as he heard the crowd go crazy, then he lifted his hand. I'm telling you, that's exactly how it played out.
I think you're right, O. But when they reviewed it, it was a high stick.
It does,
dude. I get it, but
100%
maybe it didn't. I don't think he saw it perfectly. It was a crowd reaction penalty, and I agree with my friend Teemu that it shouldn't have been called.
Well, here's where I would react. Here's where I would counter as a Canadian, because evidently I'm the only Canadian on this show that really wants to see them win. Because
all of a sudden I've got thrown under the bus on all these things. And what
Noodles
did I do
doesn't
wrong?
care. He's objective. And O's Finnish now. I didn't realize that was part of his background. My reaction as the Canadian here would be, okay, I'll grant you that, but there were 6 freaking guys on the ice a game 48 hours ago, and Canada almost got sent home because of the stupidity of the reffing.
Good comeback, and you know what? Sometimes that's the way things play out. So screw Teemu and his tweet. Now screw him and his tweet because we deserved it, and we deserved a little
Canada
good fortune.
was better. It's heartbreaking. I tried. I actually had an out-of-body experience when the call was made. And I tried to plant myself in Helsinki, which is impossible. I'm reading Noodles in the paper. I'm like, all right, what's going on here? If you're Finnish, up 2-0, and it's primetime over there, Friday night, you're partying, the bars are probably packed, you're going nuts. 2-0, you're about to beat Canada, you're thinking. Then all of a sudden it's 2-1, 2-2, and that power play is coming over the boards with 2:30 left. You're right, the game was over. The game was effectively over, and it's a magical play. McDavid sold it so beautifully. He feathers the sauce over to him. It's McDavid to MacKinnon, and it's exactly what they needed because
I'll tell you what, they needed a lot, Hazy, because you don't want to know who did me dirty today? Who?
Sam Bennett, but I'd argue he redeemed himself later in the game.
Noodles,
Sam
don't say
Bennett
you
redeemed
don't
himself.
mind that play. That was a ridiculous
hold on.
penalty.
What I'm saying
He
is
did me dirty. I called for him to play a prominent role, and he absolutely
and
did
you know
me
what?
dirty today.
You know what I want him to do? The same thing against the Americans
Yes.
if he plays the Americans.
Take
Not get a
Hellebuck
penalty,
out.
though. No.
What is
Not
this,
run the
Rock'em
goaltender.
Sock'em Hockey,
Take
Volume
Hellebuck out.
25?
Give me a second here. No, give me a second here. I want him to be a threat out there. I don't want him to take the penalty. I want him to be a threat. That's the difference. There's a fine line. He crossed it. He didn't. I mean, on the one angle, he doesn't really take out Saros. He kind of takes a piece of him. But my point being, he's got to work in that gray area, and he can't cross the line because you can't against the Americans. If it's the Americans, I'm assuming it's the Americans.
They're up 2-0 right now.
2-0 last I saw. If you can't do that against the Americans because that power play will chew you up. You can't. That it's going to be a thin margin for error. But Sam Bennett is a threat, and he is a guy that people are aware when he's on the ice. So to me, the Americans, the way they built their team is to combat Team Canada, and they're going to try and bully them. They're going to try and be physical. Sam Bennett is a physical force. Yes, he crossed the line today, but, he may have done you dirty, but I still think he's a very valuable piece.
Yeah, I think he redeemed himself as the game went on. I mean, he definitely
player,
he blew up his teammate. It was Mikkola who he blew up into Saros, who almost gave him a shiver to the face. And
it was
like,
close.
Bennett just ducked and saw it coming.
Yeah,
but
and for all the people you just screaming at me on Twitter, I just think the time of the game, that was a marginal call that the player, Nathan MacKinnon, made it look like a major infraction. Okay? That's all I'm saying, and that's all Timu's point is. To make the call, you're basically ending the hockey game, and you have to understand that.
Right.
That's it.
Well, I mean, Timo went extreme because he's indicating it's Canadian refs and they're on the side of the Canadian team.
He's a competitive guy. He's
I
pissed
get it.
off.
He's Finnish and he's pissed. But I think this is where, again, we talk about it every 4 years. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, that probably doesn't get called because I think they say, you know what, I'm going to let it fly. Maybe they do call it. I don't know. Maybe they do. They do generally lean on you break a stick, you shoot it over the glass, it's a high stick, but there's a chance. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong, but there's a chance if that's, game 7 of the conference final, they say, I'm not calling that with 2.5. I'm not going to get involved. The IOC, IIHF, International Hockey, it's different. With Sam Bennett, though, I would argue the same thing. I think in the playoffs, they say, both of you guys were battling, you were pushing him, he was pushing you, sorry. I'm not sure they call Sam Bennett in the playoffs. I really don't. I think I think it's an IOC, IIHF. Well, the goalie got touched here because you could argue he was skating towards it, and Mikkola ties him up, and they're battling for position, and he blows him out. Bennett's done that 15 times in the last 3 years, and he's probably been called 2 or 3 times, but the other 12 or 13 he hasn't been. So again, it kind of it's apples and oranges because it's a different league and it's officiated differently. But to finish my thought on Bennett, he was out there right at the end of the game to take the draw. I know the game was done, but he's still out there. He was on the ice for the tying goal, buzzing around, him and Marchand and Wilson. I thought Bennett redeemed himself. What stung was he took the penalty, and 2 seconds later, it's in the back of your net.
Yeah.
Like Rantanen sniped that thing.
Rantanen grabs
You
that
sure
and puts
changed
that
your
under the
tune
bar.
after calling him a scumbag last year in the playoffs after he knocked out the Leafs goalie.
I love that he's on my team. It's the same thing with McDavid. It's the same. Like I love. Not that I'm not always cheering for McDavid. I am, but it's a unique experience. These guys are on Canada. It's a different world.
For 2 weeks, you were allowed to park the team that you cheer for and cheer for the players that are on. You're
Brad
playing for your
Marchand,
country.
man, I'm his biggest
Mitch
fan.
Marner, all of these people.
Mitch Marner, can't wait.
The point being, you're allowed to cheer for.